Smile? Yeah, I'll have that. I'll have that. I'll have that. I'll have that. Right, there's a reason I ain't coming on camera today, is because I look absolutely monged. Anyway, we're here in Liverpool, and Caoimhin's not fighting, but it's always a pleasure to see Caoimhin. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Obviously, this is where I train. I'm over just for the show. I haven't been in Liverpool. It's the first time I've been since October. But yeah, over for the show, over catch up with my coaches, Eddie, my manager, talk about what's in the pipeline, and yeah, do a bit of training as well, and obviously support everyone that's at the show.
Injured from last year. Well, operations. We know that you went for your scans. I was watching your stories, and it was like, keep your fingers crossed. And then it had to be surgery. Your thoughts when the doctor said to you, know what, the only way through this is surgery, and you know the consequence of that is time off.
Do you know what I was? I was heartbroken. I think I went through a stage of being a bit depressed and stuff, because 19 years boxing, I've never ever had to take this amount of time off boxing. Do you know what I mean? I knew that obviously once he said that it was surgery, I was going to need it. I snapped the ligament and I had a fracture in my index finger. I was kind of heartbroken, do you know what I mean? Having to take time off. I was hoping that it was something minor, a couple of weeks off or a couple of months off, some sort of physio work, and I'd be back in early New Year in March. But obviously that's not the case, and I had to get surgery. But listen, it is what it is. It's one of them things. It's out of my hands, it's out of my control. So I can only control the controllable and control what's for me. But it's healing up nicely. I was in the gym today with Joe and Declan doing a little session, obviously with one hand. But hopefully in the next 6 weeks I'll be able to start punching or start strengthening it in the next, 2 to 4 weeks, and then the next 6 to 8 weeks I'll be back punching, hopefully with both hands.
Like you said, there's not been a time when you've had to stop boxing, and you did go through a point where you felt just really down about it. How'd you snap yourself back out of that to literally get to that point of, it is what it is, we've just got to deal with it and move on?
Yeah, I think I just had to stop feeling sorry for myself. Do you know what I mean? Listen, it's alright to be a bit depressed, and when you're going through certain stages in life, do you know what I mean? You're going to face adversity, and I know all about adversity, do you know what I mean? So I think once I started, I think it was a couple of weeks in, and I started feeling down, and I was eating shit and going out with my mates drinking, nothing heavy, but going out and just not being in a routine. I just had to snap myself out of it and be like, right, let's stop feeling sorry for yourself and fucking do something about it. Get back in the gym. Do you know what I mean? You still got one hand, you've still got, you can do training with one hand, you still run, you can lift weights with one hand. So I got back into the routine and started training again.
Something that I didn't get to speak to you about last time, you had a change of team. What is it in your career that made you think, okay, I need to change over teams? Because in my eyes, you were doing perfectly well. You were progressing where you were. However, that's not often what the boxer sees. What caused that? What was the catalyst for that change, Caoimhin?
I just wasn't happy anymore living in London with the way we've training was going. Listen, Al Smith and Eddie Lamb are great coaches, honestly. They are the great coaches. But they've got a lot of talent in the gym, a lot of fighters, a small gym. And I just felt like I needed more one-to-one training. I wasn't happy, and it was an accumulation of things. And I just thought that it was the right time to make a move. And I've been so much more happier up in Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm rejuvenated, and there's been a fire lit inside me. Now that I'm learning again, I'm happy and living in Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I've had a small bump in the road with my hands and whatever else. But listen, it's one of them things. But in terms of my career and training and everything else, I'm happy that I've made the move, and it was never personal. It's nothing personal. I still support the boys in the gym, all the fighters, the coaches still stay in contact. They're great lads, and I always wish them the best. But I do. Listen, boxing's, I don't want to call it a selfish sport, but you have to be selfish in certain ways, and you only get one crack at the whip with this. Do you know what I mean? It's a very tough sport, and I've got to put myself first. And I came to a point where I just was like, I can't train, I can't do this, can't go through another camp of not being happy as a fighter. I'd rather just go back home and work a normal job and be happy. Do you know what I mean? Happiness is everything to me. So I sat down with my team, I spoke to my manager and told him how I felt, and yeah, just made the move.
Yeah, because you're not somebody that coach hops, so that's why I'm asking you, because it's unusual for you to do that. But like you said, you've got to be happy, you've got to feel like you've got that attention, that time that you need in training to become the better fighter. Now, I know you're a matchroom fighter, but it would be very, very stupid of me not to ask what you thought of obviously Conor Benn going on to Piers Morgan. Yeah, everyone's got their opinion, and I get it. I've got mine as well. But you as a fighter, and you've mentioned a key word there, which is depression. People say that, oh, they throw it around all the card. They almost use it as in the same breath as, oh, they're using the race card. Oh, now they're using the mental health card. I just want your thoughts as a boxer to educate people like me that are maybe ignorant or too stuck up their own arse to actually understand what a fighter goes through.
Listen, I'm sure it's a very tough time for Conor Benn. No one can really make a comment on how he feels or not in his body, do you know what I mean? And if he feels depressed or going through mental health issues, as you would in a situation like that, whether he's right or wrong, you definitely would face them things, being stressed, do you know what I mean? There's losing money, whatever it may be. So, listen, I'm not going to question whether he's depressed or going through mental health issues, because I know if it was me, I'd probably be going through mental health issues or be depressed in that situation. Do you know what I mean? His career's been put on hold, he's lost a lot of money, his name's been tarnished, dragged through the dirt. And, yeah, I mean, on the whole situation, I just think his management team have probably handled it, or he hasn't been advised rightly by his management team. Personally, he shouldn't. For me, I don't think he should have went on the Piers Morgan show, do you know what I mean, and did that interview, because it's probably made the situation worse, do you know what I mean? But listen, you live and you learn, and on the situation with Conor Benn, if he is innocent, he has to come out and prove that he's innocent, do you know what I mean? You can't have the WBC come out and say, oh, it could be a contamination with the eggs, and then you come out and say yourself that it's not to do that. I've got a 270-page document that proves to everybody, but I'm not going to give you it. You can't do that. If you're innocent, prove your innocence. Do you know what I mean? Because you're just going to rub people up the wrong way. But listen, I hope that he is innocent for his sake and for his career, and that he can get back to normal. But if he's not, and he has genuinely took drugs and like took a banned substance, face your ban like everyone else has, and then come back. Simple as that. Do you know what I mean? There has to be some sort of consequence.
I couldn't have put it better myself, and I admire you for your honesty, because sometimes people are kind of like skirting around it. The only thing that I would say, and like I said, this is my opinion, I have got one as well, is that he's just come across as he's trying to blame everyone else, except for obviously just take that in, take a sit down, have a think, and think, all right then, where's my responsibility here?
Yeah, and I think, listen, if that's what I mean, like, if he genuinely hasn't done nothing wrong, he's right to put the blame on everybody else, because his name's been tarnished, his career's been put on hold, he's lost millions of pounds, so that's only if he has done nothing wrong. But in a situation like this, it's hard to prove your innocence, and it's hard to kind of, because no matter what, in a situation like this, they always think that you're guilty, even if you prove it, it doesn't matter. So it's one of them things where you should have just stayed quiet, let it go under the radar a bit, whether that's right or wrong, let it go under the radar and then come back, because you're only going to add fuel to the fire right now, going on about it, and I think everyone's just sick and tired of hearing about it, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, if he feels like he's innocent, he's got something to prove his innocence, then fair play to him.
And that's all we need to say on that. It was your opinion. We are in Liverpool. Unfortunately, Callum Smith won't be on the card due to injury. I really do like his style of fighting. He's an exciting fighter to watch, but it's been replaced with Jack Cullen, and it's Diego Pacheco, isn't it?
Yeah, great fight. Two big punches. Listen, it's unfortunate that Callum's not fighting. Callum's a great fighter, unbelievable fighter. I get to watch him up close and personal when he's in the Rotundo gym, so he's unbelievable. And yeah, it's one of them things. He's out injured, and thankfully the show's still going on. Listen, I hope Jack Cullen does the job Saturday night, because he's kind of been written off a wee bit. You got the American coming over, and everyone's talking about him, and it's more like the home fighter's the underdog, and maybe rightly so in terms of on paper. Jack's had the losses, and this is an up and coming kid, but Jack's had the tougher fights, and he's been tested, and he's got the experience, and he's a big puncher. So I'm excited to see this fight Saturday night. It's going to be really entertaining, and I look forward to watching and analysing it, and seeing what Jack brings to the table, because this kid's clearly talented. He can punch with both hands. It's very big for the weight, but Jack's a big super middle, and he's heavy. He's heavy-handed himself. Do you know what I mean? As we've seen in the past, so I'm looking forward to it. I don't think this one's going the distance anyway. So
I like that. But the fact is, you could be in that situation. You're looking for titles. You want the belts. There's going to be fighters that are going to come over, that may be coming over from Mexico, coming over from the States. And then it feels like you're on the back burner. It feels like they're treating you as the underdog. As a fighter, how do you like react to that? How does that make you feel? Because that's something that I never thought about. You made me consider how Jack Cullen might feel coming into this as the underdog.
Obviously, it's not a nice feeling, I would say. But personally, with myself, I've been the underdog my whole life, so it wouldn't really matter to me. I've been in them situations before in the amateurs. Do you know what I mean? So I've been the underdog my whole life, and I know how to deal with them situations. And listen, when it's all said and done, you've got to get in there Saturday night, I've got to get in there Saturday night, we've got to put a show on, do you know what I mean? And I believe in myself. So I think for Jack, listen, he's I don't think he'll be focused on being the underdog. Do you know what I mean? It'll probably suit him because he goes in and pulls off the win, do you know what I mean? It's a shock win. He goes in and gets beat, he was expected to get beat, do you know what I mean? So listen, I hope Jack can not focus on that, have no pressure on him, and just let him go and enjoy Saturday night and put a good performance in, hopefully.
I want to get your predictions as well. We've got the AJ fight coming up with Jermaine Franklin. Your thoughts on that, and how do you think that fight goes, and why?
Yeah, good fight. Franklin showed a good, put in a good performance against Dillian Wade a couple of months back. I think AJ's just going to be too much, too big, too strong, too athletic. I think he gets him out of there. But it's a solid test for AJ. Do you know what I mean? You've seen what Franklin can do against Dillian Wade, so it is a good test for him coming back. But I just think he's just going to be too big and too strong.
Talking about too big and too strong, Caoimhin, I know you said that you're not going to be punching for possibly another 6 weeks. If you had a crystal ball, when would you say that you'll be out again to entertain us with your aggressive style?
Realistically, I think June, July is going to be my target. I'd love it to be May 20th in Dublin on the KD show, but I don't know if that's going ahead. But that's probably not going to be a target for me. June, July, say mid June would be my target, providing that there's no issues with my hand. So yeah, I hope to be out before like summer.
We're going to stay positive. There's going to be no issues with your hands, and you're going to be out this summer. Caoimhin, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's going to be July.
Hopefully.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.